right, so this is Sofern's SR23 with a maximum of 3,300 lumens at a 200 meter throw. It is TN3535 LEDs between 65 to 7K color temperature. We have some run times on low, 5 lumens, 290 hours with a 9 meter throw, and you have a variable 3,300 lumen to 1,100 lumen between 90 seconds to 150 minutes with a 200 meter throw. You also have the UV light that has a 0.8 watt power with 23 hours of runtime, 3 watts, 4.5 hours of runtime, and it is IP68 rated. Right? So let's take a look at the flashlight, see what comes with it, and test it out. Comes in a nice little fancy box. You do have to remove the isolator, either or, just you gotta check both sides just in case before it actually runs. All right, so you have your manual, comes in different languages, and if you want to take a look at your settings, here pretty much tells you how the buttons all work, different press. All right. Comes with a lanyard and your USB-C on both ends for charging. Absolutely beautiful flashlight. All right, so you have magnetic capabilities on the bottom. This is where you insert your little lanyard right there. You have a nice rubber grip. Your belt clip, it's dual function. So you could do it, in your shirt or your pocket. If you want to put it on your hat, which is pretty cool setting. So kind of like a hands-free. All right. And if you want to take it out, you can. All right, so you have your buttons right there, your USB charge port, and you have different, when you turn it on, it pretty much tells you here, if it's green, flashing green, and if it's red, flashing red, it tells you pretty much, your battery level. Okay, so let's get rid of the little isolator so we can turn it on. You do have an O-ring here and here too, so you don't have any elements getting in there. Remove your isolator. 5,000 milliamp battery, model 21700 at 3.7 volt. Okay, so flashlight has reverse polarity protection, so if you put the battery on wrong, it's not going to work. So you have your 3 LEDs, and then you have your UV LED right there. You have to keep in mind that it does get hot, especially when you're at the 3,300 lumen range. It's 4.5 inches long. Okay, so let's go over all the little settings. So, single press has memory, so it goes back to whatever memory you left it on last, and you have a variable up and down. When it kind of clicks, it tells you that you're full, and you can feel the heat. Very bright. That's 3,300 lumens, and you press and hold. You go all the way down to 5 lumens. Okay. And then again, you press and hold, and it's really fast. It takes you to the 3,300 very, very fast. If you hold it for 2 seconds, starts at 5 lumens. So this is great, if you're going to be reading or you're going to get up in the middle of the night and you don't want to disturb, you just press it for 2 seconds and it goes to the 5 lumen. Okay, and this is your light indicator. So right now it's on solid green, so you have between 75 to 100% battery. If you have flashing green, between 50 to 75. If you have solid red, between I believe 25 to 50%, and blinking red is under 25%. All right, so you have a lockout setting, which is if you do 4 fast presses on this one, it locks out, telling you that it's locked in, so you can't turn it on, letting you know that you're in lockout mode. Okay, you do it four times fast and then you get out of the lockout. All right, so pretty good. All right, so if you press it 3 times, you go into strobe light. 2, 3. If you press it 3 times again, you go into SOS mode. So right now it's sending a SOS signal. Pretty cool. Press it 3 times again, or turn it off. And like I say, if you press and hold for 2 seconds, you go to 5 lumens. So you have a lot of settings on this little guy. Absolutely awesome. All right, so UV. There we go. So you have 2 settings on UV. You have low and you have high. So you have your, I think that's high, and it pretty much tells you there. And the battery status. On off. Has memory. You hold it and it goes into low. Hold it again. Goes into high. All right, so let's test the SR23. See how it lights up the garage. All right, let the lens get adjusted. All right, so that's 3300 lumens. Dim it all the way to about 5 lumens. You want to read, or don't want to bother somebody next to you. Crank it up again. Kind of blinks. It lets you know that it's all the way to the top. Very, very bright. It does get hot. The tip gets hot very quick, but most of these high-powered LEDs do. All right, so let's test out SR23. I think that's on high, and that's on low. Has memory, so it goes back to the low, and that's on high. So that is the UV light on high again. So if you need to look for leaks, like especially in the air conditioning, that's why I bought this one. You put the dye in there and the Freon, and you go pretty much find where the leak is coming from. This is a great tool to have, especially if you're a mechanic, or if you're going to be looking for stains, and also if you're going to be doing some scorpion hunting, you could definitely use the UV capabilities of this flashlight. All right, so let's try out the flashlight outside. Right now, we are in low. Let's go ahead and crank it all the way up to 3300. And this thing is pretty magical.